Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My apologies for my absence. I don't know if that makes sense. I've been putting videos out every 2 days, and those videos are the videos I made pre-surgery. I've just had surgery on my left knee. I'm wearing a brace on my leg that is to restrict my movement, hence the reason why I'm unable to get out at the moment. However, I'm hoping that the brace is going to come off within the next 2, 3, probably 4 weeks, and once I've built the strength up on the leg again, so potentially within 5, 6 weeks I can start to go out again and meet up with the guys that I enjoy being with, taking photographs. So yeah, so enough about my leg. I'll show you a bit of b-roll of the brace just in case you're interested in that, and then you can see, you know, why I'm so restricted. But that's all I'm going to say about my leg. I think what I wanted to do today, I want to keep the channel current. I want to try and show you where I am today, if that makes sense. I don't think it makes sense to me, but I want to share with you the equipment that I use, and tell you why I use it. All of the equipment that I use is made by Nikon or Nikon, however it be pronounced, and the vlogging camera, the one that you're watching me through now, is the Nikon Z30, and on there I have I think it's the 16 to 50 mil lens, which is a kit lens that comes with it. It's actually really good. It has image stabilization built within the lens, although the camera itself does not have image stabilization. I've never had a problem with that. I don't know if you watch, I walk around with it on a stick, I walk around with it in my hand sometimes, I put it on a tripod as it is now, etc. I've never had a problem with stabilization, with focus, with the sound quality or anything. It is a really good computer. It is a really good camera, and I recommend it to anybody. What are the advantages of the Z30 then? So everything that I use is Nikon Z. So I have the Nikon Z7 II, the Nikon Z6, and I have all the lenses that go with those, and we're going to come to those in a minute. But with this camera I can obviously use those lenses that I have in the cabinet behind me. I don't know if you can see it, it's just here, where all those lenses obviously fit onto that camera, but for vlogging 16 to 50 mil is my normal go-to. However, I do have an FTZ, and I use that sometimes with the 10mm lens, which is an f-mount lens, because for some reason there isn't a 10mm lens for the Z series. As soon as that becomes available I will buy one, but yeah, the FTZ, the f-mount and the FTZ are really good. Okay, so let me show you those. The FTZ, this is my FTZ. It's the Mark II. I did originally have the Mark I. The problem with the Mark I don't know if you've seen it, it has like a lug underneath it, and it gets in the way of putting it onto things such as a tripod. So yeah, I got rid of it as soon as I could. I sold it or part exchanged it at London Exchange and bought the Mark II. Yeah, what is it? It's an adapter, and it enables the f-mount lenses. So this is the only one I have now, the f-mount lens, to fit onto the Z series, exactly the same sort of fitting that you will do on a camera. Stick it on and it just adapts, so this lens can go on. The problem with it is, because you've got the FTZ, it's a little bit longer, it's a little bit more weight, and I would rather have a 10mm lens that is an f-mount lens, but it is not available as yet. The better, or the nearest to that you get at the minute, is a 14mm lens, which I have, but we'll come to that in a second. Okay, so the lens, the f lens that I have, is the 10 to 20mm. It is absolutely a fantastic lens. It was my go-to lens when I had the 500 and the other, you know, f-mount cameras. Just a beautiful lens. I did sell it originally, and I found that I missed it, so I went and purchased a new one. So yeah, we have this one. What do I use it for? If I don't get a wide enough angle with that lens, I'll stick this onto the vlogging camera, or I will stick it on one of the other cameras to use it for time lapses. I just think this is a fantastic lens. Okay, so the other cameras. Okay, so the first of the other cameras is the Nikon Z6. So I use the Nikon Z6 predominantly for time lapses. If I go abroad, so when I went to Milan, I think I took the Z6, and when we went to where was it? We went to Stuttgart and I can't remember the other places now, but I took the Z6. The reason being, it is a cheaper camera, and if it gets stolen or I lose it, which I sometimes have a tendency to, then I won't be as upset. That isn't true. I'll be absolutely gutted. I have considered selling it purely because of weight, because I do time lapses a lot. If I do a time lapse, I like to put it on a tripod, walk away, leave it, let it do its stuff, and then come back a few hours later, pick it up, and then go away. Yeah, I haven't done time lapses for the last I don't know, 3-4 videos, probably because of the weight. If I'm carrying the two cameras together and the Z30 and all the lenses, then I need a larger backpack, and it is a lot more weight, and that is a struggle. The Z6 is considerably lighter than the Z7 II as well, so yeah, it's when you're traveling a lot, the Z6 is probably the better camera, but it isn't the better camera, if that makes sense. It is for walking with it on your back, but it isn't for taking photographs. So yeah, Z6, I absolutely love it. It was the first Z series camera that I brought. Again, the one I bought, I sold, changed it for the Z7, realised I didn't have a camera to do time lapses, so I went and bought another one. Yeah, I do some daft stuff, but there we go. So the Nikon Z6, really, really nice. I do keep them up to date on all the firmware updates and all the software updates, etc., etc. Fantastic camera. That's all I'm going to say about it. Okay, so my main camera is the Nikon Z7 II. This is the camera that I like to take most of my photographs with. She is an absolutely stunning camera. The life of the batteries seems to go on forever. The picture quality that you get out of it are stunning. It is just an absolutely beautiful camera. It's probably the best camera I have ever owned. I loved the D500, but for some reason this is such a better camera. I don't know what it is, I just love it. Yeah, it comes highly recommended, guys. The lenses that I use, okay, so I may as well cover the one that's on the camera first, which is the 35mm 1.8S lens. To be honest, I don't use that as often as I should. When I did use it once, I dropped it, and it's got like a little bash on the top of the lens. I don't know if I can show you that. It's just got a little bash on the top. Let me see. I don't know if you can see that. But it hasn't damaged the performance of the lens. When I have used it, it's got stunning results. Beautiful, beautiful lens. Okay, next lens. The 14 to 24mm f2.8 lens. Absolutely fantastic. The picture quality with this lens is second to none. It is a beautiful lens. There is, however, something I don't like about it. And as you may know, I like to use ND filters, and I love doing long exposure photography, love doing it. And for some reason, Nikon can tell me why, I don't know why. The lens itself, I don't know if you can see, I've mentioned it many times, you've got these notches that have been cut out of the lens just here, and they're all array round. As you may know, I love doing long exposure photography, and that means you need to attach a ring to the end of the lens so that you can put your adapter on. It won't take very well. You have to be really finicky when you put it on, and then when you attach the adapter you have to be really careful because it doesn't seem to grip quite enough. So either they have to give you the option of this, or they just have to stop doing it. It is god awful. It is the worst thing about this lens. I did have the 14 to 30 mil lens, and I swapped it for this because I wanted to have all the 2.8 lenses. Sometimes I wish I'd kept the 14 to 30. I think it's the f4, because it was so much easier to use than this. But this is a beautiful lens. Nikon, why would you do that? It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's just spoils the lens, in my opinion. So my next lens is the 24 to 70 mil f2.8s lens. Again, this is stunning. Now I know I said the 14-24 is my favorite lens. It is my favorite lens. It's really wide, it's really clear, there's no fade on the edges of the photograph. Everywhere you look, it's just always in focus. This one, however, is just sublime. It's just absolutely fantastic. It used to be that the 14-24 was always mounted on my camera, not no more. It's this one. This is just a fantastic lens. All these Z lenses are just stunning, guys. I just love it. It's just so clear. And now if I take a photograph, I try to use this one more than the others. Really good. Okay, next. So the next lens is the 70 to 200 mil f2.8 lens. Okay, again, a beautiful lens. Probably don't use it as much as I should. Probably don't use it as much as I would like to. Doesn't always come out with me because it is heavy. So if I'm going somewhere, say Snowdonia, Wales or somewhere, this will come with me. If I'm going down to a beach, then I will not take it with me. And a lot of the times I kick myself for not taking it. The reason is the weight. I have to choose the lenses that I take with me on any occasion because of my legs. So yeah, this is a beautiful lens. The lens that I would like, okay, is the 1 to 400 millimeter lens. I think it's an f4. I can't be sure on that. I think it's an f4, but it's a bit out of my price range. I think it's something like £3,000. If Nikon want to contact me and give me one, that would be most appreciated. However, you know, that simply is not going to happen. So what I bought was this adapter, this converter, which is the Time 2 converter, goes onto the end of that, which goes onto the camera obviously, and so I've got the 400 mil reach with this converter. The problem with that is it takes it up to something like f6 off the top of my head. I can't remember what it is. That's not a huge issue. However, I've spent all this money on f2 kit, and this sort of, you know, messes with that a bit, and that's a shame. Very expensive for what it is, something like £500. But you know, it's better than paying that £3,000 for a lens, which I potentially would struggle to carry. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, it works. It's very good. The pictures that I've taken with it, so for instance, when we went to Norfolk, I think it was, I took some photographs of the windmills and I used this. This was fantastic. The pictures are really clear. Doesn't have any detrimental effect to the quality of the photographs from the lens, but you know, and it's quite light as well. Okay, so next lens. So my next lens. So I used to own the, I think it's the 24 to 200 mil, and I didn't like it. There's a lot of photographers out there. So for instance, Henry Turner, who uses it nearly all the time, and he loves that lens. For me, it just didn't give that quality that I wanted from the photographs. Not that I sell many, but I wanted better. So what I eventually did was sold it, and I've bought the 24 to 120 millimeter f4 lens, and it's an S lens again, fantastic quality. I know that I've lost that 80 mil in focal distance. It's something that I had to trade off. I wanted the better quality. And this gives me that. And if I need to go above the 120, then I obviously have the 70 to 200 mil lens to do that. So yeah, this is a beautiful lens. So if we go abroad, so say for instance I go to Milan again or wherever, this will go with me. It is absolutely stunning. It is so clear, beautiful lens. Okay, next one. I've actually not used it yet. I bought the macro lens, the 105 millimeter lens. It's an f2.8s. It's got such good reviews. Yeah, and I wanted it. I haven't used it yet because as soon as it came, I got a phone call saying you're in for surgery. So I've had the lens now for 2 months. I say I haven't used it, I think I took one photograph with it when I was at the OC huts, beach huts, just to see if it worked well. But it wasn't one I wanted to take a photograph of, I just wanted to make sure it worked okay. So I can't really tell you what it's like, but yeah, it's another S lens, really good lens, got really good reviews. Okay, next. So the next lens I'll use, guys, is the 50 1.2 S lens. Doesn't go with me that often, if I'm honest. It's not really a camera to take for landscape photography. It's more of something I like to use for portrait photography. So if I go to a regimental reunion, a party, a wedding or whatever, this will go onto the Z7 II, and I will put the 24 to 120 mil lens on the Z6, so I'm getting close-up photographs with this, and I'm then getting really good photographs, you know, for the further focal length on the other camera. But this is a really nice lens, beautiful thing. Yeah, so as you can see, we have quite a large range of kit, and as I've said, I cannot take it all with me. I will always take with me the 14 to 24 and the 24 to 70 mil lens. If I can, I will take the 70 to 200 mil lens with me with the adapter, and that is normally all I take with me. I will then take the Z6 and the 10 millimeter lens to do the time lapses, and then I will take the Z30 with me to do the vlogging. Yeah, and on top of that, we need to take other equipment. So for instance, as you all know, batteries. I take 4 for the Z7, so I have 1 in the camera, 3 spare. I take 2 for the Z6, and I take 3 for the Z30. So it's just more and more weight, and then we have to have tripods. So currently on this one on here, I have the Manfrotto the Manfrotto tripod. I used to love this tripod, and I can't remember what make and model it is, but it has clamps that really clamp together, really spring together, and they kept catching my fingers. So now this one is used only to do time lapses. My other tripod, wait. Okay, so my main tripod, the one I use to do the photographs with, is the iFootage tripod, this one. And I love it because of these clamps that are on it. They're really good. They don't catch your fingers. It's a really tall one. It's something like 6'8", I think it goes up to. Yeah, and I use a geared head on the top of it which used to be a Sunway Photo one. Unfortunately, that head got damaged when the tripod fell over. Hardly any distance at all, but it damaged the geared head. I have bought another one, and that is on the way now. So the pole I like to use to hold the camera when I'm vlogging is this thing. It's a K&F concept tripod, funnily enough, but this thing as a tripod gave way when I was vlogging one day, and it fell over and went into the sea. It was clamped tight, it just gave way, so I will never use K&F concept tripods again. But as a pole to vlog with, I hold it like such. It is really, really good. I had to break it up and adapt it, but yeah, it's really good, love it. It is a little bit heavy. The problem is I have got lighter ones, but they tend to bounce, and this one doesn't. So yeah, I'll use this one when I'm walking. Does the job really nice. Okay, so that brings us to the final bit of kit, guys. I've already said, you know, all this kit, I need to carry it around with me. So what do I carry it in? Obviously I'm using bags. I have, I think, 4 or 5 bags. But the bags that I bought 2 Monfronto ones. The clamps that you use all snapped, it was rubbish. I won't buy another one of those. And I purchased this one recently, which is the Low Pro. I don't know the model, but it's really, really good. It does have its restrictions, and that is the amount of kit that I can put in it. I'm not going to go fully into the bag, guys, but you can see I can only take 1 camera and potentially only 3 lenses with the adapter. So that is the limitations, but with my legs I have to, like I keep saying, I have to keep an eye on the amount of kit that I'm carrying, and this stops me from carrying too much kit. Okay. That brings me to my other bag, which is the Tamrac. This one, it's a lot bigger, and it has a lot more room, and it would be my everyday go-to bag if I could carry it. If I can, I carry that camera in there, and I carry 4 or 5 lenses quite easily in this. And I have another bag which I put in the boot of the car, carrying other lenses if I need to, just in case. This is a really, really good bag. The bag itself is light, but once you start putting, you know, 2, 3 tripods on there, 2 cameras, 4 lenses, batteries, etc., etc., it starts to get heavy. So if I go away for long periods of time, couple of days, 3 days, then I will take the Tamrac with me. If I go away just for the 1 day, then I will take the Low Pro bag. So yeah, that's it, I think. That's my camera equipment. Some would say a lot, some would say not. I don't know what it is, but it is all that I need. Like I said, I would like to have the 1 to 400mm lens. Could I carry it? I don't know. It would potentially be a struggle anyway. Editing wise, I use the iMac. I use everything Adobe, so Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, yeah, and yeah, all works for me. All works for me. What can I say? Yeah, so that is it. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'm sorry if it's come over as a bit of a, might have come over as a bit of a drag. I'm on a lot of painkillers at the minute, and yeah, I just wanted to keep it current. I am going to get out as soon as I can. I can't rush it because I'll just end up back in hospital again, and I'm sure you understand that. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this. I'd love to have your feedback. If there's a lens that you recommend, you know, for whatever, or you know, whatever, anything that you recommend, just jot it down below. But please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave any comments that you have. And we're doing really well subscription wise. This morning we got up to 203. We were at 498 previously, so some of you are still missing me, I'm sure. So please subscribe once again to the channel, and we will get out as soon as we can. I love having you along with me for the rides. I love sharing these journeys with you. Thank you ever so much, everybody. It is really, really appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.